Hey there, everybody. We're doing a little night one here tonight. It's about 11:33 on the clock. Let me make sure. Yeah, 11:33 it is, 22 seconds, matter of fact. I wanted to come on here tonight and talk a little bit more about these retrogrades. And, just, I guess, sharing on uh, what people might be feeling. Again, you know, and a couple of connections that I'm sure somebody has, you know, ventured in to go ahead and see the connections and everything. And I don't know how it affected you or affects you, or if one actually was able to go ahead and look inside of it. And wow, it looks like a face from here. It looks like a face, straight up. Eyebrows up top, right up here. Where we at? Right up here, eyebrows. I mean, eyes right there, eye over here. You know, it's like the mouth was right here. Even looking like a nose right there. See the little to the left? That's crazy. With ponytails. With ponytails, huh? Wow. Deep, deep. Um, yeah, so in describing, like honestly, when I saw Phoenix, when I saw Antoinette today, it was like it tripped me out. It didn't not to the I mean everything that she said inside of the post and everything too, and to stay in there, and go through, hey, I gotta go, you know, not feeling well, be right back, and so forth like that. It's hitting a lot of people like that, to add, on with the, I think was weed or alcohol, and because the weed is, I'm not sure what it is like over there, but the weed over here is not. It's all government weed, and what I mean by that, even the OG, um, what's his name, Mr. Rogelio Mitchell, and he, his sons and daughters had the weed farm and everything, and so he gave me a little bit. He said, "Be stronger, stronger, stronger." You know what I'm saying? And so I knew it was strong, but I again I really didn't trip on it that much because I had other things in my mind. It was like a self medication, and it was off that weed. And even with a blunt, that I didn't smoke weed and tobacco together, but messing with the brother that I had, especially the dad of Damien, they rolled blunts, and you know, as I'm looking right now, I'm sure something was in something at some point in time. They could handle it, I couldn't. They've been doing it for so long, I hadn't been, you know, and so that's something. And the reason why I'm speaking on the weed and everything, because weed is what I used to, take a chill and even smoke and then go ahead and crash out hard. You know what I'm saying? And during the smoking the weed, I would eat, of course. You know what I'm saying? But it was the transactional timing from when I was younger to where I'm at right now. I know our body changes and everything, but I'm not. It's not on the body right now. It's really on that weed, you know, because as if the government is paying everybody like they did with his son, uh, what's his name? I'm forgetting his name. Raleigh. I don't remember how, but anyway, to go ahead and have the government go ahead and back you up and pay, for you to go ahead and have these cannabis shops and everything, then you got to go ahead and comply to something and everything in general sense, and that's just reality of how things work, period, And so, yeah, I was eating a lot, a lot. Then I would crash hard, like this retrograde period, as Phoenix was even stating as far as crashing out hard, you know, and so I was looking at that aspect. I was looking at also, like I said, the retrograde and the point of the retrograde being about 20 days. Okay, 20 days to 21 days. They say 3 weeks. I want to say it's 20 days. Okay, and the reason why I want to say it's 20 days and everything is because we were on a 10-day calendar before. You know, 10-day calendar of 3 days maybe, and 10 months. So that would include the 30 days and 10 months. So that would bring us there. Anyway, so to the 20 days, the 20 days uh, was significant. Everything, I guess we did start this here on the retrograde on the 15th of this month, and it's going to end on around the 7th of next month. And that's, again, roughly 20 plus days. And when I knew that the Mayan calendar did run on a 20-day, you know, and so pop down over here, Maya, again, Maya means solution, straight up. They don't really care about us. Michael Jackson went down to motherfucking, what do you call it? Excuse me, Brazil. Brazil to go ahead. I think that was the one he did. They don't really care about us. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, first, I got to go ahead and say, the rebuttal on that. Well, motherfuckers don't give a fuck about us either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, evidently, taking us out to eat, and we be the meal. You know, so, so to speak, reality. So it's I'm not gonna say daunting, but I will say it's this is killer thriller night. That's what I will say. And anyways, so excuse me. Dang, I guess I'm getting a little bit tired. Ben down there also. Well, first of all, the other thing that we could, you know, keep on display is that the embodiment of our ancestors and so forth. Everybody has been for like 14 generations and shit. We want to go ahead and utilize that things, you know? And one of those things, I mean, and recognizing and looking at that right there within myself, just, like I said, I'll take my own crap, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not taking anybody else's, but at the same time, we are the chosen vessel to be here for our ancestors, and they are working for us in other realms as we hear it all. We hear it. People dropping dead, getting going to jail, left and right, left and right. And it's turned up right now. I think it's turned up. We came to the ninth year by their calendar. So therefore, we'll have 2 nines. Excuse me. We have Agent 86, which is Maxwell Smart, you know. And then we're going to have two Agent 99s. Now, that is going to be cool to have two Agent 99s. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And it's all because of 99s are, it's retrograde, and Mars is about to 88 also. You know what I'm saying? Not the hydrogen, and helium, but that of Mars itself. Mars itself, you know, rolling around us 88 days. 11:01 on the clock. And so, Mars is again like rams in the plural sense. You know? And what I was looking at is the Aztec or Mayan calendar again with Ben. And Ben, I couldn't believe the names again. It takes me a while to go ahead and grab, Ben actually has the other name of AJ, okay? AJ. And Ben also has another thing. Well, actually, for one, I explained to you in other videos, that's 11:55 on the clock, is that where I'm at is right in the Rampart police station begins the street Columbia in the Rampart police station. Between the street Columbia and the Rampart police station is the big sign that says, welcome to the I want to say Mardi Gras, but in a general sense, you're entering the Mayan corridor. That's what we're talking about. And the Mayan corridor, it reminded me after reading inside there, because you can call it uh, Ben or you can call it AJ. All right. And AJ was actually the initials of three people inside of fucking Rena's family. Bridget married an AJ. We had an AJ up there in Lompoc to where, I think my brother hung out with, you know what I'm saying? AJ. And we also have that of, Ben the Rat that Michael Jackson sang about, and Ben the Clock, Big Ben over in London. You know? Now, if we can look at it, Ben actually supposedly means son, like son, S-O-N, son. Okay? We know Benjamin is son, S-O-N, of the right hand, not the left. Even though we do have 200 at least highly skilled, as the number has been given to us, of these, either a day in the life, a day is 1,000 years to the Most High, and vice versa. Vice versa. It could take us, 1,000 years to even grasp a little thing. Okay, so, oh my goodness. And so what happens is when we count that retrograde on the Gregorian calendar, it's 20 days, which equals that of the Mayan calendar, 20 days. Okay? Now, Maya means illusion. Again, I was speaking on Obatala. I don't think I finished the story. I was speaking on Obatala and everything, and he had gone ahead and went down after taking this trusty scales, scissors, different things and everything. I can't remember them all right now, you know, but taking all these things to go ahead and go on the road because he knew it was that time. And so what had happens is that, dang, I'm losing it a little bit. He's chosen by Olodumare to go ahead and create man, humans, and so forth. So he takes, his bag of tricks like Venus the cat, and he gets it on the ladder, and he goes down. He goes the head down and establishes. Well, I'm fading into dark right now. Where we at here? Where we at? He goes ahead and establishes. I just lost my chain of thought just like that. And that's what I'm saying as far as retrograde. It's hard. It's hard to think sometimes. It's hard to think. And even I was getting to the point of this, the embodiment of our elders and so forth, our ancestors. Okay. Uh, I was speaking on AJ. That's what I was speaking on. I was speaking on AJ, and Venus family, they had like four AJs. You know, it was crazy. You know. So the reverse of AJ is that of Jah. Okay. The reverse of AJ is that of Jah. JA. Of course, they're going to go ahead and put the E on it, you know, uh, to go ahead and utilize it. To utilize it. I mean, the H on it to go ahead and utilize it in Yahweh or, you know, however it is. And the H is a star. What I mean by that, it is the fifth letter, so that's five. It's a regular star, a 5 star, 5 pointed star. So this is the reason why we have now if we went by the Mayan calendar as opposed to you know correlating these things with the Gregorian calendar, it makes more sense as to why. First of all, the other name that I saw up in here, and this is what I'm saying on this retrograde, is no joke. It's so cool. It's no joke though. You go back over it and you hear everybody talking to you. So the other name and associated with that of Ben is Tracina. Tracina is actually, speaks on about caring for the children and so forth and everything, and it's spelled with an E, not an I. And the reason why I'm pointing that out because my first, Spanish girlfriend or Mexican girlfriend, her name was Z Denise Zuniga. Okay, so again, just like Gomez, the N, we changed it to N, changed it to a Z. I mean, changed it from Z to an N, and it's like the G omen. Okay, well, the same thing over here with Tracina. You know, the my first Mexican girlfriend, she was 23 when I met her, and we took off. We had, I was in the Marine Corps, and or jumped into the Marine Corps, and she, took me down and picked me up after the, boot camp and all that type of stuff and everything too. Jail for a minute, and all of these people just came to talk to me right now. Tracina came to talk to me right now. Denise came to talk to me right now. My my dad, my real father, came to talk to me right now. My mother came to talk to me right now. And how did they do it? The embodiment. Why? Because I don't have a struggle with that of eating. Okay? Not normally. You know? But what I did pacify it with earlier was that of smoking cigarettes and then a weed. You know what I'm saying? And it took me a little bit longer to put down even the cigarettes and everything, in which my father smoked cigarettes. Okay, my real father smoked cigarettes. So I took that coping mechanism on and everything as I was going out through life, whether it be the nervousness and or slash what have you not. But I never had a chance. I never had that thing with eating, and I don't have it now. But I'm noticing how I am eating in this retrograde period. You know, and the fact that uh, the embodiment of thought and so forth. You know, and so when we go to Tracina, let's go to Tracina down with Ben. In the Aztec and everything. Denise named this is Denise's little girl named Tracina. You know, and then she had Isaac. So we had a split. We see clearly there what the split is. The split is that of the feminine went there. Tracina went to the Mayan aspect or the Mexican side, and then that of Isaac went back to the Muslim side. Okay, and so in Isaac you have Issachar also, which is a donkey. Okay, Isaac has spinal bifida, and so he couldn't feel his feet. So even in that right there, that touched me. Even in a personal sense, is because the neuropathy is in that I've had. I feel somewhat what he felt and everything. Somewhat. I had no idea what he would probably be feeling. And as I spoke to the Marine that was on the bus, he said, "Hey, I don't have this problem. His feet goes numb to where he couldn't feel it and everything, and to go ahead and take magnesium for it. So this happened on the bus. All these things, and that bus, I wasn't supposed to get on because I missed it, but it came, and then he doesn't even normally take that bus at all. So to sit up and get the information from me, see all this stuff right here is like so cool. If we're looking at a different perspective, we're looking at a different perspective. It is so cool. So then, so we're going back to Ben and Aztec or Mayan calendar. Ben also is like I said, AJ, which is JA, which is Ja. Okay. At the same time, uh, what did I just say? Yeah, Tracina. Tracina is that over the children and so forth. And what had happened was this. Even this happened in the Marine Corps. After I got back from Desert Storm, and I met the guy too. Wow, this is so cool right now. So this is when I met the guy, and he on the bus. Well, when I got back from Desert Storm, she was seeing an artist guy that lived in the building. His name was Green, you know. And so she just showed me the work on it. I, mean, I told her, let's break up and all that stuff. When I went to Desert Storm, we did, and she was playing the thing off where she, didn't have sex. But I didn't really know. We weren't really on that. It was like not really open. It was open, but we just respected whatever it was because I was gone and I knew, hey, she's not holding on. So we just, it was cool like that. You know what I'm saying? And this I was spoken but unspoken. And so we go ahead when I come back and everything, you know, because she did send me. She sent me the weed, and it actually saved my heritage, because by smoking it, I had a choice because I got busted to stay over there or come back, and I said, let's go back. So they called me a humanitarian, when I got my discharge. I was like, wow, why are you looking at it like a negative to be a humanitarian and so forth? You know what I'm saying? So I get it now. With the statue of Spanish statue of aliens and so forth, the war for the aliens to come in. So that's why a lot of people fucking will say thank you for your service, and motherfuckers don't be fucking knowing what the hell they talking about. Shit. we we over here fighting. Never mind, I didn't even get into that part. But you gotta laugh at this shit because this shit is funny, boy. It's funny as fuck. So, so the embodiment of my father. I'm going back over everything of my father by smoking the cigarettes and everything up to, you know. Then now, right now, uh, that of my mother. Now we're looking at Denise. Again, she had got me because we went down to Mexico. She didn't know how to speak Spanish. And so I said, fuck this shit. I'm going to fucking learn because, a little kid came grabbing her ass. And I wanted to, and I shoot him away and everything. And next thing you know, he come back with the police. And I see everybody on the street walking with a beer. But they want to go ahead and charge me for walking with a beer. And then, of course, I put all my money in different pockets and everything. And yes, after I shoot him, that's when he came back with the police and everything. And before we started talking, I said, "Baby, tell him what happened in Spanish." She said, "I don't speak Spanish." And what she told me there, she said her parents never spoken in front of her to keep things hidden from her, which was like, fucking, hey, this is how everything like set up, you know? It's like set the fuck up on a to keep Ben quiet, except for the premises of things of it, but not to, it's just so many different things. Same thing inside of my family. Everybody else got laced as to what was going on about who? About me, except for who? Except for me. Not just me, but I'm talking about in the world at large. On the world thing at large, where everybody know. I was telling Rena, it's like, what people can't see this, and everybody fucking knows. Like, or I guess like Sandy says, well, if you know, then you know. When that bitch knew the whole motherfucking damn time. Why? Because AJ is her husband. AJ is her daughter's husband name. AJ is the nephew name. Uh, she her friend fam, is Asian. I'm sure she got that intel from work. One of her best friends lives right down the street and everything. They go on these South America, and that's the reason why they always went to Jamaica. I always went to Jamaica and everything because that's where their roots and everything was. That's where they went to go get to do the root witchcraft work and shit. Okay, Caribu, Caribbean, Caribu, you know. so so this and on the way and they stopped in Puerto Rico because what's her name, DeBose, Lori DeBose, not Dubois, Tracy, her boyfriend, you know, of these. Wow, you know, I couldn't I'm tripping right now because at one point in time I was sitting up inside of here and it was something in the bed inside of the place where we were just at the last place on Harbor Street, 1413 Harbor Street, where Janet Reno, anyway, we keep going in there. There's so much shit just stacking on stacking on stacking. It's crazy as fuck. And so let's just jump back to Tracina. But I was getting ready to say, I heard the people, either laughing or whatever, because they said they was filming us, filming me having sex and shit. I heard, not literally, I literally heard it, but it wasn't like you heard it inside out of whatever. And but maybe she did have some speaker tucked away to where you can hear fuckers people laugh, but it wasn't though. I mean, I heard it though, you know, at different times and everything of who does he think he is? I guess with the things that I was posting already from there, and but I hearing I'm applying it to that of hearing them, maybe even watch us have sex or whatever, maybe being anyway. So going back to Tristina and Green, that was his name, the artist. When I got back, I was living in Vista, and what had happened was I picked up some Marines on the way back home and everything, because they needed a ride and everything. You know what I'm saying? I was coming from 29 Palms. I picked them up and everything, and they was getting ready to go to San Diego, but they missed it. And so I said, well, shit, hell. hell, we can go ahead and crash here, you know what I'm saying? Crash in the room and everything, you know, and we get tired. And so one he got hella drunk and shit. Now Tracina was in there, she was already knocked out, you know. And lo and behold, the jarhead goes in here and fucking touches Tracina, the baby. And now we're going back to the Mayan calendar. Tracina is that guardian over children, and as a child, she gets touched by these fucking Marines and shit. I beat the shit out this dude, threw him over the fucking banister, and then jumped on the fucking banister, and then called the police. And the police, of course, didn't do shit to me, and grabbed their ass, and you know, and I was pissed, more pissed because they was fucking jarheads. But there was real fucking devil dogs. Okay, so to go to down to the Mayan calendar again to see AJ, to see Tracina, and to connect it to the retrograde of 20 days, because on the Mayan calendar, they'll have every sign will run through, you know, in 20 days. Then the next, you know what I'm saying, next 20 days, next 20 days. It's a different. It's their whole calendar is set up to our 20-day retrogrades. You know, and not only that, they have their number down there. Like ours is 216 up here for the most of it. Their number down there is 52. Just like the 52 white keys. Okay, there's the Southern Hemisphere and Aztec calendar is 52, which is the flip flop. Okay, the flip flop of the I Ching, because the number for the Earth in the I Ching is that of 25. So we go down, and the I Ching is on the east. You know, going to go ahead. I'm sorry, it's really the west. You know, ancient far west, as we are the ancient Near East. Okay, so it's really in the west. You know, and along with fucking Africa. You know, all that Ethiopia, all of that is what they call the Middle East is the motherfucking Middle West. For real though, you think I'm bullshit? Get you that? So, so all of this shit right here. So, and I'll stop. I'll stop. I'm not even gonna go further because I can keep going. I wanted to be a long way. Those are the things that I'm talking about as far as what we're going through, remembering. And to each of us have these types of things to where we need to go ahead and put them in type of an order, you know, right now, at least in the mental, you know, go over them, you know, sit in them, sit in them. It's hard to sometimes sit in the thought and put and organize it, you know, and file it away, you know. And so even when you file them away in what is called the Ashik, what is it called? Akashic. There we go. Akashic records. Akashic. That's AK. Okay. ASH. See that ash right there? But look at the AK first. That's AK is 111, right? Then we have that of it's just 333 too. Kind of cool. Um, yeah, the AK is 11 is 111. ASH is ash, meaning like to burn. IC is 93. Akashic Records. Wow. So we see how things are freaking just, you know, line up backwards, forth, left, and right. And if you can go ahead and grab it, life is going to be a lot easier. But at the same time, you know, I mean, I'm not suggesting you not to do it. That's what I'm not doing. You know, I'm just looking at this right here in the aspect of, you know, this is the aftermath. We really walking through this stuff right now. So, as some people said, hey, they would rather not have children, you know, because of the perilous times and everything that we're in, and their soul is not necessarily, you know, they don't they didn't want one. I don't even, you know, all that type of stuff, and including, say for instance, we had a ancestor that did want them, okay, and be pushing and everything, and we're pushing back and so forth because they didn't have it, and it states, that even that of the woman, it's like the Planned Parenthood. It's mostly filled with a lot of Caucasian and even Asian women, okay, that will go ahead and be in some of these things and would go, be in front of the line and go to different cities to go ahead and have these abortions and everything. Or, yeah, you know, and it's more Caucasian than it is that of the melanated, you know. At the same time, like down in Costa Rica, when I went to Costa Rica, they were having problems even fertilization, having children, period. So up here in America, you got those who don't necessarily want it, and professionals because there's so much, like California, I think was number one on the stage for the richest. Hmm. And so you gotta put it in over here, regardless. And so yeah, after looking at all this right here, and I'm losing track even, as I'm speaking right now, different time, different subject matters I'm going on. I'm just switching it up because I've lost that thought. It really is that deep right now on the retrogrades for 20 days. So I just wanted to put that in there, leave it to you because we're going to be here till about April 7th. April 7th, just in case you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And that's a 4-7, big buddy. That's a beastie. That's the beast right there. All right. Anyways, just wanted to pop in and let you know that. Love you. You all take care.